Where is she? She's down there.
She's waiting down there. She's waiting down there. The lights are supposed to go off. There's a spotlight. Woo!
Yes, Quynh! Yeah! Woo!
I am not Vietnamese. Words pierced so deep I swear they could have been bullet holes. But I underestimated the resilience embedded in your soul. I am now struggling to speak words that used to be so simple to me. My native tongue has become so foreign to me. Mother, you are so foreign to me. I am a product of my own bitter resentment because of your high expectations of me. You have given birth to the rebellious spirit that resides in me, that fights you oh so resiliently. Teenage angst had me biting my tongue out of spite. Doing what you didn't want me to do was the only way I knew how to have my revenge on you. In turn, I have only hurt myself. But with the battlefield just as the kitchen, English was my ammunition. I am not Vietnamese. Those 4 words echoing so resiliently, like high-pitched screams shattering shards of glass. And I wonder, Mother, did the volume of my rebellion pass the test of shattering your heart? Your eyes burned red onto my yellow flagged skin, and from then on it was like a journey from the fall, because in that moment you let me fall out of your arms, and I was falling fast, tumbling and journeying away from the motherland, only to find myself lost and stranded in complete hopelessness. Surrounded by white empty space, floating on an ocean of my tears, headed towards white American ways. I am not Vietnamese. As I renounced my middle name, I began to feel more empty inside. I am not Vietnamese, as I found myself speaking in foreign tongues that were not of my own, camouflaging myself into different ethnic groups, easily being called Chinese, Pinay, Hangul by association. I blended well, though I only found myself more lost than I'd ever been. I could tell you about the history of the Philippines, but I couldn't tell you what that one word means in Vietnamese. And there was a time when I resented the Chinese, even though it was a part of me, because I always thought of how parents who are half always taught their children Chinese over Vietnamese. And when I learned that Vietnam was under Chinese rule for thousands of years, destroying documents about our history just so we couldn't learn about our ancestry, I took a look at myself and I realized I am a product of my people's oppression, manufactured by the resentment marinating within the core of my being, towards a mother who only wanted me to follow traditional ways, but instead, I strayed. I was ashamed because they were far different from American ways. I am not Vietnamese, because receiving red envelopes at Tết and saying chúc mừng năm mới is only a cover-up to cover up the greed, because there's more to Tết than receiving the greens. You are not Vietnamese because your family owns a karaoke machine and a shelf full of Asia and Paris by Night DVDs. You are not Vietnamese just because you can speak and understand the language. And as much as you want to claim yourself as being Vietnamese because of how many times you like to stuff your face with bun with thịt nướng, pho, and sriracha, well then, you are as Vietnamese as I am Korean from all the Korean food that I eat. You are not Vietnamese just because of the things you do. It's also knowing why you do the things that you do. Because you can shave your head just like a monk, sit with your legs crossed and close your eyes, but it doesn't mean you'll attain enlightenment, because it's all in here. Being Vietnamese is not about the material things, because our mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, grandfathers, and grandmothers rode in boats with barely anything on their backs. The only thing they had was the resilience burning in their hearts, the mindsets that carry them on, the traditions they can now pass down to us. My mother never really told me stories of where I came from, and so I would scream, I am not Vietnamese. I now recite those words with shame as I see the image of my grandfather that I never knew, fighting a war that should have never came, locked in a box made of cement, starved until he was near death. As they see brothers and fathers lying in the battlefields, mutilated and decapitated, body severed from his head. Little brother telling older sister, I'm hungry. So she said, here, have my ration instead. I am not Vietnamese. The fires blazing in the village in My Lai, dead bodies stacked up in a ditch, machine guns and hand grenades pointed to her head. I am not Vietnamese as they pull him away, dragging him. He's bloody from head to toe to hang him by the post as they ripped off her clothes, doing things to her that she would never want to know. City streets flooded in fears, babies all in tears, humanity lost in the eye of a war. I am not Vietnamese as I see my mother escaping from imprisoned rape, traveling over to America for her children's sake, escaping flying bullets and hand grenades, thousands of lives sought to save mine. Con xin lỗi má. Con sẽ không nói vậy nữa. Má không có kể chuyện cho con nghe, không có nói cho con nghe. Bởi con không biết. Và bây giờ con hiểu. Con xin lỗi má. Con tên là Trần Phương Quỳnh. Con là người Việt Nam. My name is Trần Phương Quỳnh, and I am Vietnamese. Thank you.